barbershop com. Thank you, Lincoln. Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free hit the subscribe button. Don't forget March 16th. Um, we got a deal. We got our brunch, empowerment brunch, March 16th, 10 a.m. in Dallas, Texas. 31 tickets remain. Come and get your ticket. Click the link in the description box. We gonna have a great time. All right. So I've been holding on to this video for some time, but I just uh, and I was just gonna let other people do this, but no one brought this up. And the fact of the matter is, I'm gonna quote Steven Espinoza and say when he says him and Eddie Hearn were going back and forth. Steven Espinoza said something that was real damning. I thought Steven Nelson says quote when he's talking him and back with Eddie Hearn about the Anthony Joshua fight. Obviously, lies. You mean that like when you told Klitschko and HBO that AJ didn't have a multi-fight agreement with Showtime, even though there were still 3 fights left on the deal. There was 3 fights left on the deal. I don't know how many fights there were on the deal, but Showtime had a deal with Klitschko. With Anthony Joshua, and never had a deal with Deontay Wilder. And this is where it gets damning. I'm here, obviously, you guys know my platform. I will side with the black and Mexican fighters as it relates to getting all their money. You know, I have a great deal of respect for Steven Espinoza, but at the end of the day, I have to say what is factual and what is real. Showtime has given Anthony Joshua a multi-fight deal. I'm going to say this again. Showtime in the past has given, but according to Steven Espinoza's own words, and when I saw that tweet, I said, holy cow. You know, I'm going to just wait because I'm pretty sure some smart writer will pick up on this tweet and mention it, and then it will take on a life of its own. But it didn't. No one brought it up, you know, so I just sat and waited. And it's very alarming to me that Anthony Joshua has had a multi-fight deal on Showtime and Deontay Wilder is still a free agent. Now, Deontay Wilder says he relishes in being a free agent, right? And I understand where he's coming from. Me speaking from personal experience, I enjoy being a free agent. Like I told you guys before, I turned down a great job with ESPN because I knew I can make more money being a hustler in these streets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm loosely being facetious, you know. So, but I got to call a spade a spade. If they had a multi-fight deal with 3 fights left on the deal, and I don't know how big that deal was, if it had to be bigger than a 3-fight deal, so at least a 4-fight deal with Anthony Joshua. Why can't we get when I speak so highly in reverence of Deontay Wilder. I'm always saying but Showtime, you need to offer Deontay Wilder a deal. You understand? And I don't know if the game plan. I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't know if the game plan is for him to be a free agent. But if Floyd Mayweather gets a 6-fight, $300 million deal, then goes on CBS in the Final Four and sits down with Kenny. You guys remember that? Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Charles Barkley asked for one of Floyd's earrings. Remember that interview on CBS? That was like, damn, that was a long time ago. Felt like yesterday. And if Floyd Mayweather gets a $300 million deal, I know Deontay Wilder is worth at least $100 million. You know, I don't know what they made on the pay-per-view. Their lawyers and their auditors know the real numbers, and Deontay Wilder knows the real numbers. So he knows how much money he's bringing to the network. And by all accounts, I would say the rematch would have did time and a half, especially if if Showtime hires a company to deal with the piracy. People will be forced the day of to get the pay-per-view, similar to what they did to Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. They delayed that fight 20 or 30 minutes because of the cable companies was getting pay-per-views with the combination of the magnitude of that fight, and people realized that their stream was lagging because so many people was on it, and they didn't want to miss the event. And Deontay Wilder is one of the few events that we have in boxing. One of the few men in boxing that can carry an event. And uh, it just bothers me a bit that Deontay Wilder does not have a contract. You can't say race is a factor because Floyd Mayweather was black, Anthony Joshua is black. So you can't say it's a black thing, it's whatever thing. But at the end of the day, if they haven't offered Deontay Wilder a contract, they don't see long-term value in him. And these are just the plain old facts, you know? And um, hopefully, I mean, Al Heyman is the best in the business. He knows what's best, and they're probably negotiating this as we speak. I have no idea. I just think if Anthony Joshua gets a multi-fight deal on Showtime, and I understand people are going to say that, well, he's fighting in the UK, but you still got to have. But he did under 300,000 for I believe he did under 300,000 for somebody. I can't remember, or was that Klitschko and Fury that did under 300,000? So I don't know. I stand corrected, but I know all his fights come on in the middle of the day that he had out here in America. But at the end of the day, I don't care what it is. He didn't have an American provider. And obviously, Steven Espinoza and the Showtime and the Brain Trust at Showtime was building the Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder fight. But if you entrust that a heavyweight over there can give you at least a 4-fight deal, why not trust Deontay Wilder on a 4-fight deal? And me on outside looking in, I interviewed with Steven Espinoza, and he said he wanted the Charlo and Hurd fight, right? He wanted that fight because he's built a brand over on that end. And Hurd's last fight was on Showtime, and Charlo's last fight was on Fox. So I don't know how this works or how that works, but at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder needs a contract, and they need to be in negotiations for a contract. And if you are in negotiations with Deontay Wilder for that contract, I think someone in the PR team or the PR firm needs to let it known that we are it shouldn't even be consideration. He's the only draw on Showtime over 1 million. I think Broner gets close to 1 million, and Deontay Wilder gets over 1 million every time. You know, like, he is the only guy that knocks people out. Plain and simple. So at the end of the day, we stand, we wait, and does Deontay Wilder deserve it? Absolutely. You know, and if you want that, if you want the mega fight, and the mega fight right now, let's see, what really are the mega fights in boxing? And mega fights has downgraded themselves too, for some odd reason. All these fighters have social media, but let's talk about the fights that are organic events, right? We got Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko, Tank Davis versus Lomachenko. Those are event fights, right? I know I'm going to miss a few. Maybe if Charlo was undefeated, it maybe would have been Charlo Hurd. On the outside looking in, David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. That fight still needs some grooming and some nurturing. And if I'm missing a few, I apologize, but these are the things that just come to my mind immediately. I think Tank Davis, Gary Russell is a pay-per-view fight if Gary Russell can unify at 126 and Tank Davis can hold on at 130. If he can hold on, hold on, Tank. You know what I mean? That quite possibly could be a pay-per-view type fight or the apex of a televised Showtime fight. Yeah, and those are the fights. I may miss a few, so put in the comment section if I've missed a few, but those are the ones, you understand, that are that are in each other's grasp that could potentially happen. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are those. So we sit down and we sip our tea and we wait. But again, the premise of this video, Showtime has given Anthony Joshua a contract, and yet Deontay Wilder hasn't been given one yet. So we sit back and we watch and we see what happens. So, anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.